When so many local families are already experiencing food insecurity, a sobering new report, Feeding America says things just are getting worse.
Yeah, here in southwestern Pennsylvania, 1 in 3 black residents and 1 in 5 Latino residents have made a choice between eating or paying their bills.
Barry Pintar shows us where local families can get help.
Yeah, this is a bunk for one member of an entire family. As you can see, there are 4 bunks here at the Salvation Family Center here in East Liberty. This is where family comes if they need help. The rent, the utilities, the food. It just becomes too much. When it specifically comes to their food, it's a term known as food insecurity.
All right, Oxford definition of food insecurity says the condition of not having access to sufficient food or food of a adequate quality to meet one's basic needs, right? It's the beginning of famine. Let's continue watching.
You may not have heard of that term, but you've certainly heard of the fact that people just can't afford food anymore. And listen to this fact. It's actually worse in Pennsylvania than anywhere. In a recent study, Pennsylvania food prices have spiked higher and faster in the last 12 months than anywhere else in the entire country.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 19. Woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Right? Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
This adorable little girl who asked to hold our microphone is here at the Salvation Army Family Center, along with her mom, MJ, who asked not to be on camera. What would you say to someone then who is like, I need to take that first step, but I just don't know if I can?
Do it immediately. It'll more than likely be the best thing. Don't be embarrassed about it. Don't feel worried. Just be, honestly, just don't worry about it. Just do it.
MJ hopes to open a daycare someday, but for now she needs help. The latest report by Feeding America says the need in southwestern Pennsylvania is greater than it's ever been in all demographics.
The group seeing the greatest need? Children. Like this little one. You have another
black mother who tells us she has to make the choice every month between purchasing groceries or paying her rent. And she feeds her family cereal for breakfast and for dinner.
Here at the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, needs continue to rise as well. And all of these leaders of all of these agencies have a primary message for anyone suffering from food insecurity, and that is ask for help.
Ask for help from who, you might ask? I mean, honestly, in these latter days, we are in the last seconds of the latter days. You people can go down to these government-funded assistant programs, okay? These 501c3 charters, but you were instructed not to go to Egypt for help, okay? And the whole time you're looking for them for help, they're looking to go ahead and roll out their NWO, which involves you receiving an implantable chip, a micro C-hip under the skin of your hand or in your forehead. Okay, that is what all of this is leading to. This is Isaiah 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children. Now notice in Matthew 24 it said, woe to them that give suck. Woe means destruction. Here it says, woe to the rebellious children of Israel, might I add. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Should someone feel shame because they have to ask for help?
No, not at all. Not at all. They do, because it affects our pride and why can't, or am I not good enough, right? Am I not good enough to provide for my family? Food insecurity is a bigger picture than me or you.
And that is the overwhelming advice. If you need to ask for help, ask for help. That's why these agencies exist. And we want to do our part as well. We have posted right on our website a list of agencies that are there to help you. It's from McGee Women's Hospital. It's not only Allegheny County, it's several counties. Please go ask for help. And as they said, don't feel shame. It's okay to need help every now and then.
A food insecurity crisis is growing as many South Florida families are finding it more and more difficult to put food on the table with higher grocery prices. Now the organizations that help people in need are finding they need help themselves. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten joins us live from the Feeding South Florida warehouse. That's in Pembroke Park. And Ted, what's causing this?
Well, Elliot, Feeding South Florida tells us that about 1 million people in South Florida, so from Palm Beach down to the Keys, have no idea where their next meal is coming from. But when you look at the shelves here in the warehouse, it may be a little bit misleading. It looks like there's plenty of food to go around, but actually in some key areas, donations are way down. We visited a food pantry in Key West. More people are joining the line for food at the SOS Food Pantry in Key West. Folks needing help putting food on the table. Had you ever needed food assistance before?
No. So this is the first time you've needed food assistance?
Claudine Weinman shops at the pantry. Even though she has a job, she still needs help feeding her family.
It's more expensive than everywhere else. Way more expensive than anywhere else that I've ever lived.
Already this year, compared to last, more than 1,700 additional people have signed up with SOS.
In Key Largo on Monday, we usually had about maybe 110. Now we're seeing about 150 every Monday. So the need is definitely increasing.
As the need is increasing, what's going on with the supply?
It's definitely decreasing.
Normally meat is available when families come in here for assistance, but you can see from this refrigerator here, it's empty.
There's usually meat, like we get pork chops, we get sometimes short ribs or whatever. You get a freezer item. But there was nothing today. No meats.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you've had meat?
Probably a couple weeks.
Where we used to be able to provide people a full bag of groceries once a week, people are allowed to come to our pantry once a week. We just don't have enough food to do that anymore.
Where we used to be able to provide people a full bag of groceries once a week, people are allowed to come to our pantry once a week. We just don't have enough food to do that anymore.
SOS CEO Tom Callahan says higher food prices are pushing more people into the pantry.
While at the same time, the amount of donations that we've been receiving from our traditional sources are drying up.
As these distribution centers and manufacturers are being more efficient, which is great for business, but for us, we're having to go out and figure out how to bring in food.
Paco Vela is the CEO of Feeding South Florida. The organization helps supply food pantries like SOS. He said now they're trying to figure out new ways to keep the shelves stocked.
What we're doing as an organization is we're starting to go out and buy some of our own food so we can make sure that we have food here available for our partners as well as for families who come in to our pantry to shop.
Kahalayim la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Waha, Racha Kodash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of Great Millstone. To you I say Shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Amraya. And you were warned. You were warned, you were warned, you were warned, okay? And you were told that these programs were going to dry up. They were being depleted. They were no longer going to be able to provide assistance to the overwhelming need of those who are being stricken with this hyperinflation, the cost of living going up, the cost of providing for oneself in every manner, every way has gone up, okay? And these programs are soon to start shutting down. As you saw, I slowed down a couple portions of the video. to show you. They are running out of funding. They are running out of resources. Okay? And how did we know this was coming? Because the Lord have already deemed it. And his word will not return unto him void. Okay? This is Isaiah chapter 32. And I'll begin at verse 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Listen intently." Okay? Verse 10. "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come." And what does vintage mean? The vintage goes into the crop, all right? The grape crop. The crops are failing, okay? And this is done by human design in some cases, but this is ultimately the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh, whom you ignorantly call God, Yahweh Shai is his son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay? So, verse 10 again, "Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the crop shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled." Right? Start stressing out now, okay? Because you've had your way for so long, you don't want to come under the authority of a man of the Lord. So you're going to get caught out there in the shitstorm when the famine takes full hold upon this earth. And this is the beginning of famine, whether you like it or not. "Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." You better start lamenting. All right? The Lord is not playing with y'all. He's not playing with your families, your children, yourselves. Because when you had an opportunity to repent, if you're of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, you confusion of faces, you rejected his word. You rejected his hand of salvation. Now, we understood. We know the scriptures. We study daily. And we understood that his servants will eat. His servants will have drink and be merry and be protected from the judgment that is coming. But if you have not repented, if you have not served the Lord, if you have faith without works, you're going to get caught out there, all right, in the Lord's judgment. Verse 12, "They shall lament for the teats." Teats dealing with a woman's bosom, breast milk, fatness, right? But ultimately, all of the abundance, all right, that you have been accustomed to, the cheap prices, the crops, all of that is going to fail. And you will lament, you will cry and miss those amenities. All right? "They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city." Right? The Lord's judgment is upon us. Okay? It will behoove you, if you are of the nation of Israel, to get your act together, to repent. All right? To seek the Lord while he may be found. Let the wicked forsake his way, or her way for that matter. All right? Because if you don't, the Lord's judgment will visit you. From here, I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 14. All right? Because this is a deadly serious time that we're in. And you've been going to these, a majority of you women have been going to these harlot houses called churches. And you're getting these false prophets lying to you, telling you everything's going to be all right if you put a couple dollars in their little bowl that they collect, while they're robbing you blind, not doing anything for you, not even giving you the true gospel of the Holy Scriptures. All right? You have put your faith in men. You have not put your faith in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you haven't even put your faith in the right men. You haven't trusted in the men of the Lord. You look down your nose at them. All right? You're looking to put your faith in these high-value men, so-called, right? But the whole time they've led you astray. Jeremiah 14 and 10. "Thus saith Yahweh unto this people, thus have they loved to wonder, They have not refrained their feet. Therefore, Yahweh doth not accept them. He will now remember their iniquity and visit their sins. And iniquity is sin upon sin upon sin. Then said Yahweh unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. All right? And we're not going to pray for this people, the nation of Israel, all right, who is being mainly affected by hyperinflation, the cost of living rising. All right, we're not going to pray for you. We're not going to have sympathy for you, because while we yet had liberty, you rejected the word of the Lord. You rejected his hand of mercy and salvation. So you yourself will be judged. Verse 12, when they fast, I will not hear their cry. And that's coming soon. If you haven't learned to fast already, the Lord is about to show you what it means to fast, because you're going to go days without eating in some of these cases. All right? You have rejected the word of the Lord, and the whole time you were being warned that all of this was coming. Famine, pestilence, plague, civil war, race war, world war. All right? The Lord is not playing. The Lord is bringing judgment upon the world for its evil. And we were telling you to get right. You don't want to hear it. When they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offering and oblation, I will not accept them, but I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. Right. Verse 13, then said I, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. And you're receiving this in these harlot houses called churches. They're telling you everything's going to be fine. Don't believe the prophets of doom and gloom. You're hearing this from your own government and all of these different agencies. Come on to us. We'll continue to help. They're not telling you the truth. They're not telling you that everything is running out. Soon to come, there will be nothing left, all right, except that mark spoken of in Revelations 13 and 16, that micro C-hip, which will be the only way you will be participating in the new coming world economy, period. Your banks are about to fail, okay? Your markets are about to crash. Everything is about to end, all right? You shall lament for the teats. And even through all of the warnings that are going out, you still have not repented. Therefore, the strength of Egypt shall be your shame. Verse 14, then Yahweh said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. Therefore thus saith Yahweh concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. Right. Let their table become a snare. Okay? You've been eating good in these harlot houses called churches off these single women who don't know any better. Simpletons. Well, guess what? You're about to receive the same judgment they are. All right? You guys better brace for impact. All right? The Lord is not playing, and judgment will stand in these latter days. So repent or die. It's just that simple. Call halal la Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for this message. Till the next time, Israel, Shalom.